Okay, so we've got our strut tower brace fixed, and we put in the just the bottom brace for the car, just to get everything dimensionally stable while we start cutting apart stuff, which is what we started doing right here. You can see there's a lot of marks for, I don't know, where we think engine bits might have gone until we settled on where we actually cut. So yeah, you can see how the coilovers are very close, and that was a big concern about all this. And you see how I kind of cut into that strut tower reinforcing plate. I'm going to be cutting out more of that to fit this motor mount. And here is the tight confines of the wheel well. Yeah, so we're going to see how this goes. Okay, so this is the bit I cut out of the Honda Fit. I've been slowly removing more pieces from it. I made a little cardboard template of how the line in the engine bay mounted up, and this is the frame rail of the Fiat, which we cut in the Honda Fit on this line. So yeah, it's been a bit of a head scratcher trying to imagine everything in 3D space and what I need to cut, how it needs to fit in, and everything like that. This is the piece that I actually cut out of the Fiat, and yeah, it was sort of basically kind of on that sort of line, whatever. Anyway, yeah, this is the hole for the brake line. I'm going to have to drill a new hole somewhere in here for that. It looks like there's like a little flat area, which almost corresponds to the exact distance of where this line went. So maybe I can drill that, because this will end up outside the Fiat sheet metal. So maybe I can dive in and go down and then come out where it needs to. When you're doing this, you kind of want to keep everything as attached as much as possible and sort of remove it as needed. And I think I'm at the point of being able to remove this lower piece. I mean, I was kind of holding on to this in case I wanted to kind of pound it diagonally and match it up against the Fiat sheet metal and weld it into place as a structure, but I think I'm going to have to just make up my own bracing, just because you just can't hold on to everything, and it just becomes too difficult trying to get everything to work constantly. But yeah, I've had to kind of cut back away from the back of this. I'm going to have to actually do more, because the coil spring is very close to here, and without removing some of this, there would be interference with the coil spring, the coilover spring, and the engine mount. So I do have some space to remove metal, and I think I'm going to still box everything in and preserve the strength of it, but it's just kind of something that it's a compromise I'm going to need to do. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. When I was cutting the sheet metal, I left the pinch weld of the frame piece and the wall just intact, because I figured, well, that's a piece of structure that that should probably stay intact. So I'm going to have to work around that, and that's fine. But yeah, I want to try and preserve as much strength and integrity of the structure as possible. Okay, and here we are at the Honda Fit. This is kind of where I cut out everything for that engine mount, all that sheet metal, and you can see there's like five layers of stampings that go into the Honda Fit, fender mount area, and so you can understand how just this complicated series of stampings all go to reinforce each other and create a really stiff, strong frame. Even though it's a monocoque, basically a monocoque frame for the car. I still need to do that side, but one side at a time. And we're back. So welcome back to the project Risotto. Working here in the engine bay today. I guess you just saw me making some more airflow for the radiators. Yeah, I just repurposed some shelf bracketry, kind of trimmed them thin, but still managed to keep, that sort of U-channel profile, so that they have a little bit of strength, and they're just tacked in for now. I'm going to just probably redo them later on, but moving on. So, cut a larger hole for the omelette. Yeah, it's been a little, helps if it's plugged in. It's been slow going. The proximity to the shock assembly has been causing me a little bit of anxiety. I think it's all good though. Here is the motor mount from the Honda Fit. Let's see, I'll do a little zoom. Okay, so yeah, I've been just kind of nibbling away at it. Um, you know, just trying to maintain as much strength as possible before, you know, it all just falls apart on me. And I think I've succeeded to this point. Let's see, just pop it in. Yeah, okay. That's about where it goes. So, yeah, I'm going to try to maintain these old motor mounts as sort of bracing from this front plate onto here, and I'm going to have to source a little bit of 14 gauge steel to create sort of a nice wraparound kind of bubble to add back all this strength that I just took out. But I don't think it's an issue. It should be pretty flippin' strong after all that. And here's the Honda motor mount. And that roughly fits in there like so. So you see that it really does kind of take up just all the space that I needed to cut out. And I think I'm going to be able to get away with keeping this cutout this size. You know, you don't want to cut out a ton of stuff. So yeah, this was, I guess, really the best solution that I could come up with. It's a little too late to try anything different. And you know, kind of like when I was doing this big huge cutout of all this stuff, of course, you know, there's the hole for the brake line to go down in there, and I think I'm going to be able to kind of snake the brake line over and in and down. There's a fair amount of clearance around this motor mount, so I'm hoping that that is not going to be an issue. I'll shoot a little close-up angle of that so you guys can take a look at that. Really, probably the only issue that I'm kind of running into that really isn't an issue is, let me just reach for it. Let's see, okay, so yeah, these are, you know, the nice big strong bolts that go in here, and really to keep this as small as possible, there is only going to be room in for the back bolt for probably an Allen bolt. This is not, of course, the right length or probably the right grade, but yeah, probably an Allen bolt of this dimension and grade to kind of reach back there and bolt that back. It's, you know, it's 2 bolts, so you know it should be plenty strong. It's just going to be a little bit tricky doing it up, but I think there's going to be enough room for that. That's always the issue with this kind of stuff. You try to think ahead to, well, okay, that's great, but am I going to be able to bolt everything together and unbolt it afterwards if I need to? Yeah, I've been doing my best to keep this motor mount as compact as possible. I cut a pie wedge out of it, and then, you know, squashed, you know, this side structure back into it. I'm gonna have to kind of V-groove that and weld that up, and probably do a little something down here, basically because I just want as much clearance away from the shock absorber as possible. It's, you know, it's going to just be what it is, but I'm shooting for as much as possible. And you know, the Honda Fit was kind of like this too. It had the motor mount sort of encroaching in the proximity of everything here too, but not to this degree. So yeah, it's coming along. yeah, this is just kind of like an update of where we're at. Yeah, I can show you a shot from inside the wheel well if you want to see that. Yeah, if you want to see a different angle from where we're at. And we have the shock close, but not too close. I think it's going to be all right. I don't think it's going to, bother the, when the wheels turned. I don't think there's going to be any rubbing to speak of. And and this side was the one that had the most encroachment on the side. The other side I don't think will be as bad, or maybe it'll be just about as bad. But yeah, you can see exactly kind of where I need to drill up into this little guy to route the brake line out. Yeah, so there's a good amount of space around and underneath and kind of through that motor mount to probably route that brake fluid line safely. So what else? Down here, cut another hole for the shifter cables to go through. I needed a little bit more slack, so yeah, I cut that one to just give me the extra little space I need, and it looks like that's really going to be the right place to put that. Yeah, so it's coming along. I can see if I can fit my little jig, motor mount jig, so you guys can get an idea of how that. Okay, so yeah, here's basically my little motor mounted jig that I had in the Honda Fit engine bay that bridges the two lateral engine mounts. So yeah, it's just kind of resting on top of it. It's not really set up to bolt into place. Because yeah, that piece of sheet metal for that fender is in the way. But you can kind of get an idea of, yeah, that really I'm going to have to, I'm probably going to have to extend the Honda Fit frame probably an equal amount into that wheel well also. So yeah, if that results in a tiny little bit less steering lock side to side, then so be it. I think it will probably be just fine anyway. So, all right, that's it. Thought I would give you guys an update. Yeah, it's just been very interesting putting this stuff together. I do this to myself because I guess I like figuring out these kind of puzzles and these kind of spatial relationship things. I don't know. It's been such a long time since I've driven a vehicle that I built. You start forgetting what it's like, and my brother out in Colorado, I built a motorcycle for him and redesigned the rear suspension, and it's really cool. And he's riding his bike around, so yeah, I need to get off my duff and get this going. But yeah, I've been working like a crazy guy, trying to get the foundation prepared so that I can pour concrete for a shop on the other side of this wall here. So that's been taking up my life, and I've been doing it all manual labor with dirt and wheelbarrows and big huge chunks of concrete. So yeah, everything takes time, and I'm trying to parse out what's the priority. I mean, getting this sort of done so I can get it out of the garage, so I can get, you know, Athena's car back in here. That's kind of a priority. But if I got all that done out there, if I just got a concrete pad installed, that would make so many things so much easier. So yeah, I've really been trying to focus on getting everything ready so that I can get a huge concrete pour accomplished before summer ends. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be coming out to Colorado in August, and we're doing a showcase of our films that me, Lance, and another guy, Emil, have created. And that's going to be on August 10th at the Bug Theater. If anyone in Colorado, any one of my families, any one of my friends that watch this, want to come out and hang out with me and see what I've also been up to with that, please come and join me. I think there's going to be some really cool things to see. In fact, it's not what I think. I know there's really cool things to see. And it's stuff that's like done on film. And a lot of people just really don't understand how special film is. Because people are terrified of shooting on film anymore. And it's a big, huge process, but just the look of it is so cool. And especially if you can get a really good scene captured really well on film, I mean, that's all there is to it. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this. We're still making progress. I'll hopefully have the engine mounts figured out for you guys next time, and we'll just take it from there. Anyway, take care. I love you all. I'll see you later. Bye.